Tori, and today I'm going to be reviewing the book Stars of the Broadway Stage, 1940 to 1967. So this is a collection of photographs all done by Fehl. And so what I can understand from the beginning notes of the book is that for Broadway shows, photographers used to have the cast meet them after the show, and they would take pictures of them in their studio, and they would often come out looking very posed and like school photographs. And so Fehl was one of the first people to actually think of going to the shows and taking pictures of the actors while they were performing, which of course we do now all the time, but apparently that was a new thing that he kind of came up with. And so this is just a fun book. It's full of different black and white pictures, and they're just pictures of all different shows, and they're organized alphabetically by the actor's name. If there's more than one actor in the picture, they just kind of randomly chose. And it was fun to go through and see. There were a lot of shows and actors that I had not heard of, but then there were some I had heard of. So it's really fun to see. Like here is Julie Andrews in My Fair Lady, and that looks nothing like the dress that Audrey Hepburn wears in the movie. So it's really fun to get to see what the original productions look like, because I have never seen a Broadway show. I mostly just watch the movie adaptations of them. And like here is a really young Lucille Ball. Apparently she was in Dreamgirl in 1947. Or oh, here is a picture of Yul Brynner in The King and I, and he actually is in the movie version, but it is so much later. He looks completely different, so it's really fun to see him super young in that role. Here is Claudette Colbert in 1951, and she was a movie actress, so this was probably kind of as her film career was winding down, and then she went to Broadway. Or oh, here is a fun picture of young Jane Fonda in 1960. Oh, and here, I didn't even know that Audrey Hepburn was originally in Gigi, which was adapted into a movie. And it's kind of funny because people always said that Gigi and My Fair Lady were like the same show, kind of. They're compared to each other very often. And so it's fun that she was in the original Broadway version of Gigi and then the movie adaptation of My Fair Lady. Oh, and then here is Mary Martin in The Sound of Music for the original stage version. Oh, and it's interesting, this is a photo from Finian's Rainbow, the 1947 stage version, and I wish I could see that so much, because I've seen the movie, which came out in like the mid-60s, and it is very 60s-ish, very, very much a product of its time, and I would be so interested to see what that story looked like 20 years earlier when it was on Broadway, because I know it wouldn't have been the same story. I mean, I'm sure the basic plot points are the same, but it would have had a very different feel. So it's so cool to see that picture, and I wish I knew what the whole production could have been like. So this book is a lot of fun. I flipped through it in I think less than an hour, and so just every picture is captioned with information about the actors in the photo and what production they were in, and it was a lot of fun. I recognized some actors and some shows, but then there were a lot of things I hadn't heard of or had only heard of vaguely. So this made me want to see actual productions of a lot of these shows, so I'll have to keep my eyes open for that now. I had a lot of fun looking at this.